Welcome back into the Fun Astrology Podcast for Thursday. It's May 18th, and we're continuing to navigate through as the moon is closing in on the sun for tomorrow's new moon. Hi, Thomas Miller on the Fun Astrology Podcast. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, so the moon now, as the sun comes up this morning, is about 16 degrees away from the sun. Of course, all of this taking place in the sign of Taurus. But the other aspect today is an early one, 5 a.m. Eastern Time, the sun sextiles Neptune. 60-degree favorable, so that is bringing this spiritual component to the table that we so need. And we had enough yesterday to talk about this. Really should have talked about it yesterday because it was applying yesterday. Peaks today. So if you need to draw on some intuition, you've got it in your pocket. And it's a sextile, so the illusion, delusion, lies, and deception side of Neptune should be less at play. However, always keep your antenna up for that, especially when Neptune is in the neighborhood. But today should be a positive, very inspirational, intuitive day with the moon closing in on the sun as well. Now, we mentioned this yesterday just to underscore it again. This is going back to an old ancient technique, but basically when the moon is in between Jupiter and the sun, that's what you're looking for. This can only happen once a year. In Taurus, it can only happen every 12 years. But what's different here is that we have Mercury in between this, and it often is attributed to transportation-related issues. There's something that we talk about today that ancient astrologers didn't talk about, and that is intention. When you're studying these old techniques, they often come from this fated, this is going to happen kind of perspective. Well, then comes along Paramhansa Yogananda in the 1950s and 60s and 70s, and he says, you give me the worst day of the year on that chart to start anything. I'll start it, and I'll make it successful. The man was so in control of that kind of thing that he controlled down to the very event and hour of his departure from his body. They didn't do that in Hellenistic astrology. It was like that you were almost a puppet on a planetary string, and of course we've come a long ways since then. So keep it in mind. We'll see what happens, but it's just one of those other passing things through the chart that I think we should set powerful intentions, especially for those of us who are going to be on the road. I'm pulling out of here this coming weekend. And yes, around this, I will do a little extra preparation and protection ceremony, and I'll keep that going for friends and family who I know are traveling during this time as well. You should try on the same. Now, one would think that there would be more aspects firing off from this little cluster up in Taurus, and yes, that is true, because in the morning at 2:39 a.m. Eastern Time, so for some of you, that's even still tonight, Mercury sextiles Saturn. Thank goodness these are sextiles, Neptune this morning and then Saturn tomorrow morning. And remember that Saturn is pulling away from that recent trine to the south node and sextile to the north node. So let's not forget now, as heady Mercury hits this sextile aspect tomorrow morning early, that karmic business is still very much at play. It's like all of this is moving toward this karmic crescendo, if you will. So right now is some of the most sensitive, energetic real estate of the week, basically, because we have yesterday's square with Jupiter and Pluto opposite Mars. And here's the bottom line of these sextiles du jour today, I think. First of all, the sun, the radiance of who you are connecting with Neptune for that intuitive bump, or to borrow Malcolm Gladwell's book title, blink, if you will, that moment of inspiration when you need it. And then Mercury sextiling Saturn saying, okay, if you're going to slow down and think about this, then realize Saturn is subtly in Pisces doing this. You know, Saturn's been kind of quiet here lately, but Saturn's been busy behind the scenes doing its karmic business, working on just the pressure points that it needs to with just the right amount of pressure, so that when the time comes, oh boy, but being conscious and seeing that sextile with Mercury, you can actually think that through and realize that in the big picture of things, it's all in perfect hands. and it's all going to be just okay. I love that picture. I love these sextiles today. And remember, sextiles are playful aspects, so play with these. Don't be so serious. And we'll see you back tomorrow, where we will set up the weekend ahead. You guys have a great day. I love you.